Paris, oh, the city of lights, love, and luxury. It was supposed to be her grand comeback. The flash of cameras, the shimmer of silk gowns, and the world's fashion royalty gathered in awe. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, was ready to reclaim her spotlight. After all the chaos, the whispers, and the criticism, this was her moment to rise again to show everyone that she was still that unstoppable force of elegance and power. But oh, how quickly the dream turned into a nightmare. Because just when Meghan thought the world was finally applauding her, South Park struck again. Yes, again. The animated show that never holds back decided to drop a savage new episode that didn't just poke fun, it torched her Paris Fashion Week appearance. And the fallout? It left Meghan absolutely heartbroken, reportedly in tears, asking herself, how did it all go so wrong again? Let's rewind a bit. The world was still buzzing from her Jamgate fiasco and that disastrous wine brand debut when Meghan appeared in Paris, draped head to toe in a creamy, elegant ensemble that screamed old money chic. This wasn't just fashion, this was a message. Meghan wanted the world to know she's back. The palace couldn't silence her, the press couldn't break her, and Hollywood, she was ready to conquer that all over again. She strutted confidently through Paris, camera lights flickering her every move meant to scream relevance and rebirth. But behind the glamorous curtains, far away from the red carpets, there was another storm brewing, not in Paris, but in the South Park writer's room.
Okay, what are you doing?
Relaxing.
According to insiders, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the infamous chaos duo behind South Park, had quietly been cooking something explosive. A follow-up to their viral worldwide privacy tour episode, the same one that reportedly sent Meghan and Harry's PR team into complete meltdown mode. But this time, they weren't just teasing, they were going in hard. The new episode, chillingly titled The Duchess of Desperation, aired just days after Meghan's Paris appearance, and it was brutal. The cartoon Duchess appeared in a nearly identical beige outfit, parading through Paris Fashion Week, dramatically waving to imaginary photographers as the crowd yawned in disinterest. The cruel joke? She wasn't even invited. And that tagline, when relevance calls and no one answers. Ouch. That line alone sent shockwaves across the internet.
It's truly what we want, and we really can get away from it all. No more magazines and Netflix shows.
And then came the laughter. Oh, the internet loves its drama. From London to Los Angeles, social media exploded. Clips from the episode went viral within hours, flooding X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit. Hashtags like #SouthParkMeghan and #Duchess of Desperation dominated timelines for 2 straight days. Worse still, people started doing side-by-side comparisons, real Meghan in Paris next to the cartoon version. Her poses, her smiles, her signature hand waves, the resemblance was painfully uncanny. One TikToker even joked, South Park didn't exaggerate, she did their job for them. For Meghan, who had been banking on Paris to repair her image and charm the European fashion world, this was a total PR disaster. Sources close to her revealed she was crushed. She reportedly broke down in tears after seeing the episode trend, saying she felt mocked on an international scale. But the episode didn't stop at her fashion, it went straight for her brand. In one scathing scene, the animated Duchess sat front row at a fictional fashion show called Virtue Verite, a not-so-subtle jab at Meghan's authenticity brand. While the cartoon was ignored by designers, she frantically scribbled ideas in a notepad, start a podcast about not being understood, launch a fashion line made from recycled headlines. It was savage. The episode even referenced her real-life setbacks, the Spotify deal collapse, Netflix production delays, and those endless rumors about her upcoming lifestyle brand. At one point, her animated assistant says, "Your podcast about vulnerability has been canceled again." The audience roared with laughter. But Meghan? Not a single smile. Reports from Montecito said she was devastated and furious. Harry, ever protective, allegedly wanted to call in lawyers, but experts quickly told him satire's protected. And South Park thrives on controversy.
Taking her 4.2 million Instagram followers.
But beneath all the public outrage and online chaos, something deeper was cracking. Meghan's image had already been wobbling, failed projects, fading sympathy, and now this. To many, it felt like a full circle moment. The same show that once shattered her credibility had returned to finish the job. One insider told Page 6, it's Meghan's worst fear becoming a punchline. For years, she built her identity around being serious, misunderstood, and strong. But now, South Park had turned her story into a running joke, and What hurt even more this time, Hollywood didn't come to her rescue. When South Park first mocked her last year, a few celebrities quietly tweeted about bullying or media cruelty. But now, silence. Not Oprah, not Tyler Perry, not even a single emoji from her A-list friends. It was as if mocking Meghan Markle had become mainstream entertainment.
Them, but I can't get away from them! They're everywhere! In my face! Look, Kyle, we just kind of don't care about some dumb prince and his stupid...
Meanwhile, the memes kept pouring in like a tidal wave. One viral post read, "South Park just did more damage to Meghan's brand in 22 minutes than the palace did in 2 years." Another snarked, "If she wanted privacy, maybe skip Paris with a camera crew." Her PR team scrambled. They reportedly reached out to media outlets, pleading not to amplify misogynistic content. But in classic South Park fashion, trying to silence the joke only made it funnier. Within hours, social media had crowned her the Duchess of Desperation. Even fashion blogs, usually polite, ran side-by-side shots captioned, "Art imitates life." For Meghan, who'd spent years reinventing herself from royal rebel to influencer, this wasn't just bad press, it was an identity crisis. Her control over the public narrative was slipping fast. And just when it couldn't get worse, it did. Insiders claimed Meghan had been in early talks with a major French luxury brand before Fashion Week, eyeing a possible campaign deal. But when South Park aired, the brand quietly walked away. As one source put it bluntly, no one wants to be part of a punchline. Back in Montecito, the scene was chaos. Sources describe the Sussex mansion, usually calm and polished for Netflix shoots, as a PR war room. Phones buzzing nonstop, aides pacing, Harry trying to keep things together. Meghan was furious. Not just at South Park, but at everyone's silence. A source told The Sun she felt betrayed by Hollywood, by her friends, by the media's laughter. And this time, that silence, it was deafening. She had been mocked before, yes, but never like this. The Duchess of Desperation episode had gone beyond trending. It became a cultural moment. Even late-night comedians joined in, joking, "South Park didn't create Meghan's Paris moment, they just filmed it better." Ouch. Desperate for control, Meghan's team contacted lawyers again to check for defamation or privacy breaches. But the answer was brutal. South Park was untouchable. Parody was legal and lethal. So Meghan turned to her second weapon, the media. Within days, sympathetic pieces began appearing in glossy magazines. Inside Meghan's pain after cartoon humiliation and Duchess of Strength rising above hate. But the response? Disaster. Commenters flooded those articles with mockery. Rising above hate? She's suing cartoons. Another quipped, if she learned to laugh at herself, people might actually like her. And then came South Park's final blow, there's Zix to our men. Official account tweeted, "When they tell you to stop watching, but it's about you, one line, 1 million likes. Internet demolished." Trey Parker and Matt Stone didn't even need to say another word. Their silence was louder than Meghan's outrage. Her team tried pivoting, pitching new empowerment interviews, even floating a Vogue essay about resilience. Insiders said she wanted to write about how women in power are unfairly mocked, a piece tying her pain to systemic misogyny. But when drafts started circulating, editors reportedly balked. One insider told Page Six it would have made her look fragile, exactly what South Park mocked. So the essay was quietly shelved. Meanwhile, South Park's viewership exploded. The Duchess of Desperation became one of the show's most streamed episodes of the year. Every article Meghan's team tried to bury only made it trend harder. And then the humiliation hit real life. At a Los Angeles red carpet event, as Meghan and Harry stepped out, a paparazzi yelled, "Hey Meghan, will there be a season 2 of your South Park episode?" The crowd burst into laughter. Cameras flashed. Harry's jaw tightened, Meghan's smile froze. That moment, captured by dozens of lenses, said it all. She wasn't just mocked on TV anymore, she was the joke. Back in Montecito, insiders said Meghan spiraled. She reportedly canceled meetings, avoided calls, stayed off social media. Harry tried comforting her, saying the storm would pass. But it didn't. It grew. The South Park episode had reopened Pandora's box, and the internet dove straight in. Old clips, old interviews, and even her pre-royal Hollywood past resurfaced. Users began dissecting her career, her relationships, her family dramas. It was digital archaeology, Meghan edition. And slowly, the woman who once commanded fascination had turned into an internet spectacle. A hashtag, a meme, a punchline. But then the palace chimed in, ever so subtly. A royal insider told The Telegraph, "The palace has no comment on fictional portrayals, but satire often reveals truth more sharply than speeches." Translation: even the royals were laughing, and that was the ultimate heartbreak. For Meghan, this wasn't about a cartoon anymore. It was about legacy. She had spent years shaping herself as the modern Diana, misunderstood and brave. But now, the image was crumbling. She wasn't the powerful voice for change anymore. She was the Duchess who couldn't take a joke. The optics were terrible. In Hollywood, perception is everything. And as one insider brutally summed it up, if people are scared to joke about you, you're powerful. But if you become the joke, you're finished. And for Meghan Markle, that realization hit like thunder. Her Paris dream was shattered. The comeback she had so carefully orchestrated, gone in flames. South Park's parody had done what critics, tabloids, and royals never could. It turned Meghan Markle into the very thing she feared most, a punchline. But this isn't the end, not for her. Because behind those tears, that silence, and those PR calls, Meghan was already plotting her next move. Something bold, something defiant. She wanted to rise from the ashes again to prove the world wrong once more. But as fate would have it, that very next move might just make things even worse. But here's where things get even more intense. Because while the world thought Meghan had gone quiet, she was far from done. Behind the walls of her Montecito mansion, something was brewing, not despair, but determination. Sources whispered that Meghan had started reaching out to her closest allies, the same Hollywood insiders who once championed her rise. One even claimed she told them, "They think I'm finished. I'll show them I'm not." Her plan? A rebrand, but not the kind you see on magazine covers. This time, she wanted a complete transformation of her public image. No more misunderstood Duchess, no more victim of the press. Meghan wanted to become something bigger, untouchable. Insiders revealed she began sketching out new project ideas, everything from a global women's empowerment series to a tell-all style docuseries centered around resilience and redemption. But even her inner circle worried that pushing too soon would backfire. One source said, "She doesn't understand that the internet never forgets. Every move now has to be perfect." Still, Meghan was unstoppable. She reportedly told her team, "If they're gonna talk about me, I'll give them something worth talking about." Yet beneath that fierce determination, there was exhaustion and pain. Friends close to her described her as emotionally drained, but clinging to hope that one bold move could rewrite her story again. And as the cameras waited, the memes faded just a little, and Hollywood whispered, behind closed doors, one thing became clear. Meghan Markle wasn't giving up. She was preparing her next chapter. But what no one knew yet was whether that next chapter would be her greatest comeback or her final curtain call.